Good morning to my favorite national councillor from the good morning. Now we're ready to go. I've had my morning like cheering. Okay, folks. David, have you got the microphones on? We're ready to go. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. We've got a busy day. And we've got an interesting agenda. I'm going to start with just a few housekeeping things. One of the things that Nicole is at the back, and we have a book. It's on Western separation, but we're going to give a book to each of our speakers, and Nicole is going to write the speaker's name on the front of the book, and we'll leave the book on the table back there. And over the course of the day and the coffee breaks, if you were impressed with something that Maxime said or Derek Sloan said or Dr. Roger said or whoever, you can go and look at their book and put a comment in the book and just give them their little bit of encouragement. Sometimes, as I think some of our speakers pointed out yesterday, sometimes it's a long and winding road without a lot of encouragement. So feel free to make some comments in the books that we're going to give them. And to the speakers, before you leave, be sure you pick up your book. We have some books at home, which we got this done, but we never got around to giving it to the speaker, so that doesn't work so well. But before you leave, be sure you get your book. And for all the speakers, you can take a T-shirt as a small token of our appreciation. We put Wexit on it rather than, some people said, well, why didn't you put WIPA? And I said, well, we're actually, like, as much as we have a lot of sympathy for WIPA, we're not actually WIPA. We're people who are talking about getting a better deal for the country. So we were a little bit careful for there. We were also hoping to sell some to some people in Saskatchewan too. So, but in any event, for our guests, be sure you pick up a T-shirt. For anybody who would like to buy one, go ahead. We talked, the theme yesterday it came up quite a few times how difficult it is to get the message out, no matter how good your message is. And I heard a story from pretty reputable sources that we're not the only ones that are having that problem. At one point, God was, wondering how things were going down on earth, and so He sent a few angels down to see, how things were progressing down there. And they spent a few weeks on earth, and they got home, and they got back to heaven, and quite frankly, they were discouraged. And they said, 2,000 years we've been working on this, and like, there's not even a fraction of the people on the world that have even heard of what we're trying to do. There's a few that claim they're believers and followers and workers, but quite frankly, like, there's not a handful of them that are actually living by the good book, and we might as well just give up. And God said, this is a fight that we're not going to give up. We're going to fight this until we win. So don't even be talking about giving up. We're just going to have to redouble our efforts. We're going to have to, I guess we'll have to learn how to use social media. We'll have to learn how to, talk to other people, how to spread the word. And we'll just have to try harder. But he said in the meantime, the least we could do is those few, good believers that are living by the good book, like we, completely by the good book, the least we could do is send them a plaque and, sort of reward them for their good efforts. And, does anybody know what they put on the plaque? No, I didn't get one either. No. And so, but in any event, I think we're all living in hopes of getting one of those plaques too. So, I think we're gonna have a busy morning. This morning we're gonna start off with pulling the trigger. We call it going off half cocked. I think it was last week. I think Drew Barnes has had his tongue cut out since. But anyway, about 2 weeks ago, he suggested that we should have a referendum on equalization in conjunction with this upcoming municipal election and the referendum that we're talking about here this weekend. And Paul's going to start out today talking about, basically, well, I guess, should I give your speech or should I just say you're going to give a speech? So a couple of times, Paul and I were traveling together and I said, Paul's going to tell you this and this and this and this, but I'll just tell you, Paul's going to tell you why he doesn't think we should have a referendum on separation this fall. So Paul, welcome.